Alright, so in this video I'm just going to show you how to make some eyes. You can make them any number of ways, but I'm going to show you how just kind of a nice way that works. So you're going to make basically these kind of eyes. So first thing I'm going to do is just get these suckers out of here. Alright, so to make an eyeball, you might be surprised, but what you want to do is make a sphere. But let's go ahead and create a polygon primitive sphere option box. And let's just do 16 by 16, we'll say. It's probably good enough. And then hit create. Alright, so it's going to be just at W, so you see it. And I'm going to go hit spacebar, F to frame, back this thing up. I'm going to take it and pull it up here. Alright, and I am going to rotate it forward. Because see how it's pointing upwards? If you look at it, you'll see that right now it's on the y-axis. See the pole is right at the top. So I'm just going to rotate this way. If I hold J, does it change anything? Okay. If I hold J, it'll do increments. And I'm just going to rotate, grabbing the red axis, and pull it forward so it's pointing that way. And then I'm going to scale this down. And actually, even before I put it in the socket, I'm just going to put it in front of him. And we'll work on this, and then we'll make, we'll actually make the eyeball. All right. Let's move it forward a little bit more. All right. So I'm actually going to need two of these. So what I want you to do is just Control D to duplicate, like dead duck, and move one behind the other. All right, and we'll hang on to this. We're going to need this in a little bit. I want you to take this one, the one in front, and just scale it down a little bit. All right, not a lot. The idea here is that it needs to be able to basically fit inside of the other one, okay? But like just fit inside of it. So very small amount. Just hit R for scale, grab the center, and just scale it in just a little bit. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to just try and fake an iris and all that business. So let me look at this guy, and we're going to say that this is the pupil here. So, or the iris. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my multi-cut tool here. I'm going to hold Control on this edge, and I'm going to put one here, we'll say, and let's put one here as well. Okay, now this is what I want you to do. I'm going to right click, go to vertex, select the center one. I'm going to hold shift and the greater than symbol. So that is like if the alligator's eating something that's on the left of it. So it's the one on the right. Okay, I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3. So hold shift and then that greater symbol, hit 3 times. I'm going to hit move, and I'm going to move it. I'm going to hit F to frame so I can frame on it. I'm going to move it so that this becomes flat. See how like those are now flat, these two right here? Oops, let's get closer. Right, so it's even a little bit inwards. Something like that, okay? That's probably a little too far. Like that, okay? Now I'm going to shrink my selection by doing shift and less than, like that. I'm going to take this, push it in, shift less than, push it in. All right. And then I'm going to squeeze this a little bit so my pupil's not so big, okay? And then I'm going to do shift less than, move tool, and I'm just going to shove this back. All right, you can see we have successfully made a Death Star, right? So right click, object mode, boom. See, looks pretty good. All right, now that's the basics of the geometry. The shader is actually the thing that's going to take the longest. So to make that, hit the little ball up here for the hypershade. Okay. I'm not a big fan. Well, let's do it this way. So we can do it this way, but just so you can see it. Right click over top of that eyeball and go to assign new material. So right click and hold, assign new material. And then we're going to go ahead and do a blend. And I'm just going to arrow till I get to my blend. And I'm just going to call this eyeball underscore MAT. Glorious. And we're going to take reflectivity all the way down. And I'm actually going to take the specular color down. Because we're going to make this part shiny. This part doesn't need to be. Actually, put a little bit of specular. There we go. Okay. Now we need to actually adjust the color of this. So underneath color, this will change the color. But I actually need to change it so that this is white for the sclera, the white of the eye. And then the iris, and then the pupil. So click on the little thing here to make an attachment. And this time I want you to choose ramp. Okay. So what ramp's going to do is it's going to generate select this. It's going to generate a ramp, so like a gradient inside of Photoshop. So it's going to go from one color to another color to however many colors you have, okay? So in this case, this ramp, this is not a good example of it. But if you look, you'll see that the pupil is basically all these triangles, and on the opposite end is the sclera, okay? So you can kind of see how it's basically going from black to white, okay? But we can adjust this. So I'm going to hit on that. So if you click off of it, wherever, go to the, make sure you're on the attribute editor, go to the color, hit this little arrow, it'll bring you to what it's connected to. And there you go. So first thing I'm going to do is I need to move these around. So I'm going to grab this black dot, I'm going to pull it that way, grab the white, pull it this way. Actually doesn't make any difference, but alright, so that black is on this side and white is on this side. I'm going to click on this one. You can see the color shows up here, so I'm going to click on that. And I'm just going to do slightly off-white, nothing crazy, just a little bit of a cream. Okay. Now, you may notice that this is not great. So I need this part in here to be black, but not this. Right now it's doing a straight gradient. So I need to just add more things in there. To add more, you just click in anywhere in here, and it makes new ones. You hit the X, and it removes them. Okay. So I'm going to put one really close to the white. Click right there. And I'm going to pull this direction. I'm going to click on one really close to the black. There we go. And pull it this direction. And what we're going to do, and it's kind of annoying, we're going to try and see. Okay, so that's a little too far. I'm going to try and make this as tight as I can. Oops. Without it going over. So you see it's the selected position is 0.928. And this is 0.934. So let's take this 0.936, and we'll grab this one and make this 0.934. Alright, that's not quite enough. Alright, so it's just trying to, okay, I think that's it right there. So if you look, you can see it goes from white, and then there's kind of black right here. Alright? Yay! Okay, so, oops, let's hit this again. So you can see I got my pupil, and then I got all sclera. But this obviously needs to be an iris. So I'm just going to click in here. And let's click again. So I got 1, 2, 3. Select the inside one. And then choose what you want your iris color to be. We're going to change this anyway, but I'm just going to make my guy have brown eyes, because most people have brown eyes. And that's what I have. So really a deep dark brown. And then I'm going to click on this one. And click on this. So I clicked on this circle. And then I'm going to click on this, and then I'm just going to choose the last one I selected. Boom. Okay. So you can see that iris is going too far, so I got to bring this back. And then bring this one this way. Bring this one back. Let's say there. And this one right up tight to it. Boom. Okay. Now, at its most core, you can see we more or less have an iris. Okay. Now, we can make this a little bit nicer. So if you normally eyes have those look like little freckles, but basically there's striations in there because it's a sphincter muscle. So what I'm going to do is kind of fake that. So I'm going to select, let's select the inside one. And then instead of just straight up doing a color, let's connect that color to another thing. So click on that and then choose fractal. Yeah, we'll do fractal. You can actually already see it kind of working. Now, to change the color of this, go down to color balance, do color gain. That's going to be your brighter of the two colors. So I'm going to click on, oops, sorry. I'm going to click on this. Choose that. And then I'm just going to lighten it up a little bit. Boop. And then the color offset. Choose that and make that one much darker. And then you can see we've got something. Now, I would do more with this, make it look a little bit better, but you can kind of see that's a pretty nice kind of cheap eye. Okay, now, what's nice about this is that the light catches underneath, just like the iris kind of does, but I don't have any glare. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is add a material to this one. So right-click over top of this one, assign new material, go blend, and we'll call this oops, not capital, lens underscore MAT. Color is irrelevant. Take the specular color all the way up. I want it shiny as can be. Take the centricity and make it super tight. You can see the highlight gets tighter as I pull it to the left. I'm going to take my roll off and go this way, so help push that. And then reflectivity, I'm going to put that really super low. Okay. Oh, and then lastly, you can see now it's shiny, but it's not see-through. So actually, before we even do that, go ahead and put it over top of this. Make sure it's over top of it. That looks good. And now take transparency and jank that all the way up. And now you'll see, when we look at this, we can have that nice glare that goes over the eye, right? It's pretty cool. So that's basically what we're doing for an eyeball. Now, you can do more with this. For the sake of ease, what I want you to do is select both items and then just do mesh combine. It's not the best way to work on it, but that way you can select it now and then just push it back into his head. All right. And then, come on. Okay, we're going to go like this, and then I'll scale it and go like that, and then go to front view and go like this, and then let's go to here, and looks like I did, okay, so you can see he's a little bit too far, and I'm going to go this way a little bit. It's a little bit of a back and forth, but you can see that makes all the difference. Now he looks like he has an actual eye. So, you might be happy with that, you might not. So next thing I want you to do is this. We need 2 eyeballs. He's got 2 eyes, right? So to make the other one, I could duplicate it and try to position it, but the chances of getting it in the same exact position is going to be kind of hard. So what we're going to do instead is this. I'm going to group this item. I'm going to hit Control G. What that does is it makes it into a new group, and whenever you make a new object, the pivot is automatically at origin. So in this case, that's right there. So now with that, if I were to scale this opposite, you can see it would go to the other side, which is great. But I need to duplicate it first. So I'm going to hit Control D, and then I'm going to go to the channel box, and in Scale X, type in -1. And then you will see over here, we have the other eyeball on that side, and voila, you've got 2 balls of eyes. All right, so that's how you make eyeballs in less than 12 minutes. All right, so there you go. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to rig the character, but that should be, I think, good. You know, we might not have covered how to make hair, because I have a feeling you guys might want to make hair. So let's actually do that too real quick. To make hair is actually pretty easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the guy, I'm going to select his model, and I'm going to hit Control D to duplicate it. So now I have one right on top of the other. I don't want to see anything else but this other one. So I'm going to hit Shift I, which is Isolate Selected. So now you see the eyes, and that other model goes away. You can right here it says Isolate Persp. So that means only this model is being viewed. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put Symmetry on Object X. I'm going to use my Multi-Cut tool, and I'm just going to try to, there we go, cut a line of how I would want his hair to be. So just imagine that I'm doing a good job. I know it's not easy, right? Like this, and then I'll hit Enter. Okay, so that's his scalp. Now what I'm going to do is hit Q. I'm going to right click, go down, come on, right click, come on. Neat. Q, alright, W. Alright, I don't know why it's doing that, but we want faces. So, and now it's not selecting faces. Neat. Alright. There it goes. Oh, it did it for a second. There you go. I'm going to go face. Okay. I'm going to go to a side view here because I might, that's not side. Okay. And, okay, I was there. Alright. So, computer's acting a bit janky. I'm going to delete all the faces that are not the hair faces. This might be easier to do not this way, but for me, at this moment, I feel like this is a little bit, oops, went too far. Control, okay, delete, delete, and then we'll delete all these. Okay. Okay, so basically delete everything, well, I messed up, but everything but the hair that you want, right? Now what you're going to do is select all the faces, or you can just select as an object and hit Extrude, Control E, or this button here. And then we're just going to pull it out a little bit, okay? And voila. Now what you would do is basically you can add some points or, you know, grab some verts you know, and start trying to style it. You can cut it, you can do whatever you want to this, but this is basically the start of your hair shape. Okay, but that's how I would do hair. That's probably the easiest, bestest way. Alright, so now you got eyes and hair, so you should be good to go in 15 minutes.